Got one finally, boys and girls. We are hooked up. We are hooked up, boys and girls. This is a decent one for sure, especially for here. Should definitely get some pliers, right? Mm-hmm. Back hook, let's give it a try, huh? Nice one. It's a nice one. Almost tipped my boat. Okay. I like it. I like that you go. Going back to the deck. Shield up under my kayak. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm gonna do a quick little video, man. I literally just got off the water like 3 seconds ago, right? So I want to go over just a quick little list of must-haves on your kayak, right? I just feel like there's a few, key essential things that I think you should have on your kayak with you at all times, and they're relatively cheap, right? At least that's the goal. And honestly, these are in like no particular order. Like I said, just a couple things that I make sure that I always have in my kayak. Again, no particular order, but number one for me is a good set of pliers. Not just any pliers, okay? Because yes, you can find pliers at any hardware store. It doesn't matter, right? The ones in particular that I'm talking about, these are KastKing pliers. Now, the great thing about these, you see this little section right here? That is for cutting braid. Or of course you can still cut line with that. But this thing is like mandatory on my I have it on my regular boat and I have it on my kayak. Not all companies even make pliers like this. They have rubber grip with the braid cutter right here on the side. Very, very convenient, very easy. I would definitely make sure I get some of these. You can also take off split rings with this little section right up here at the top. Like I said, there's a bunch of different plier brands out there. But this one in particular, like I said, by KastKing, I haven't seen anyone like this. Like I said, nice rubber grip, braid cutter, take off split rings if you need to change out things like that. All around great, man. It's been on my kayak for a couple years now. I'm not going to talk about items that I just got yesterday. All around great pliers, man, and I'd love to attach these things right to my little eyelet. I have an eyelet here, one on the other side to hold my, little box of items, whatever the case may be. Use to keep my keys, wallet in there, things like that. So that's item number one. It's not just any old pliers, special pliers by KastKing. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. I just, like I said, I have a bunch of the different types of pliers. That one's like my best all around, everything in one, type of set of pliers. Now, number two for me, well, again, not in any particular order, but number two here is some type of rod holder system. Don't worry about trash. Trash gotta get taken out. But some type of rod holder system. My kayak here is a Shadowcaster. You guys see that? Shadowcaster, well, Field and Stream Shadowcaster. 13-foot kayak. Actually comes with 2 already installed rod holders. But if you guys, there's, I believe the companies are like Yak Attack. There's a couple of companies out there that sell like an actual box that includes rod holders. If you want to be cheap like me and save some money, go to Walmart, strap these things onto a good little crate that you could possibly get for free, or you can go to Home Depot, get one for about $8. Or hopefully they're not all gone from the, what is that, milk crate challenge? A rod holder system is key for me. I don't go out on the water without having something to hold multiple rods. This is just storage for me about to go home. Like I said, just get out the water. Had a pretty decent day out there, actually. But yes, rod holder storage is definitely key. I wouldn't step out on the water. I wouldn't step out. I wouldn't go out on the water if I didn't have a good, adequate system as far as having multiple rods ready to roll. You don't want to have them all jumbled up like that. You don't want to have them all jumbled up trying to, untangle them, things like that. You want to be something simple, quick, and sweet. Or you can have, like, if you don't already have a bunch of rods, that little one right there. But I would definitely shoot for at least three to connect to a crate, like I said, or you buy the more expensive full box setup that can hold tackle, hold rods, all that. Totally up to you. But like I said, things I try to do is very simple, sweet, easy on the pocket, and just try to help you guys out. This is something that, of course, all based on situation, right? Your storage compartment, if you do have a storage compartment, which this kayak does, I always keep rain gear. Okay, rain gear that's my little storage there. But rain gear is essential, man. Like today's as you, I don't know if you guys can see, pretty cloudy day, right? It drizzled a little bit this morning, but that's one of the essentials that I definitely will have on my boat. Some guys, you know, try to plan if it's going to rain that day, period. I say have my boat on my kayak as well, but some guys try to push their limits, of course, right? Which, you know, nothing wrong with pushing limits, but why not just be prepared? Throw some rain gear in there. That was actually some Frog Tog rain gear, which is very simple, very budget friendly, and it definitely gets the job done, of course, just in case it ever rains. A lot of people don't think about that, of course. They just kind of wing it. But I definitely want to always have rain gear on me while I'm on the kayak, especially if you're going to take a nice long trip somewhere on a semi iffy day. It'll save you, of course, from getting wet, things like that. But if you're out there, like right now, it's about to be fall time, so it's starting to get a little chillier. If you happen to be out there and actually, get into a little bit of rain, weather's a little cooler, water's cooler, you don't want to get pneumonia, man. It's not even worth it, So just like I said, throw some rain gear up in your little storage compartment. Like I said, if you are able to have one on your kayak, as you see, it stays right there with me at all times. Another item I want to point out that I don't see a lot of people have. I don't necessarily consider it the thing for a guy who's just kind of getting out on the pond with the kayak, or super small body of water. You may not need this, but it does come into play, and it's the reason I have it on my kayak. It's a marker buoy. A lot of times, guys are on bass boats, regular boats. I have my John boat as well. They might have something like this. It might be graphing around and throw this out when they see a piece of structure. They want to make sure they get that same repetitive cast over to one spot. I keep one. Now, granted, I bought like a pack of 2, but I keep one on my kayak because I don't have. I got Garmin Striker 4, I think it is. Yeah, my little baby Garmin unit. Some people don't have a unit in their kayak at all, which totally fine. No one might not have sitting there with side scan, down all that other fancy stuff. Some guys just love to fish, want to have a small, simple kayak, totally fine. But again, you get to an area where you're dragging a jig around, something like that. You feel you keep coming through some brush. You might want to mark that spot. Or if you are able to have side scan, or even just a simple 2D, and you're rolling over something, you see something down below on that 2D sonar, boom, throw that little buoy out, let it sink, let it fall, let it mark your spot. You back off of, get your. Got a little anchor pulley system. If you don't have an anchor, get an anchor. Anchors are very good. But throw your anchor down, hold that spot. Or if you have a little micro power pole, of course, that's another thing, but a little higher in the price point. Not my pocket. Marker buoy definitely comes into play. Can't go wrong, man. They're cheap, simple. Once you're done with it, wind it back up, throw it back in the kayak. I did mention the anchor. I mean, like I said, it is an essential. Don't get me wrong. I've been out on the water on days where wind is blowing. Not saying crazy, but it's a good breeze where you can't get, the proper amount of time that you want to sit in front of an area and kind of pick it apart while you're on the kayak. And actually, on that same day, I caught my PB. Let me cover. That was a large bass that missed that. There we go. I had to make sure he got that sucker that time. Man. Whatever it is, it's a freaking huge whatever. And it could be the vegetation as well. But at the same time, I put everything I had in that sucker. Just trying to keep you pinned. Oh my Jesus. Oh my Jesus. I ain't see it yet, but oh my gosh, yes, it is a huge bass. I can't see how good he's hooked. Well, his face is in the reeds. Oh my gosh. Just don't. Somebody tell me that ain't a PB. It's crazy. But I anchored down. I was maybe like a couple feet of water, but regardless, you guys know if you're in a kayak, any little bit of wind, you'll get to either swing or rolling away from where you want to be at. I could definitely say anchors on the must-have list. I could definitely say it definitely saved me a bunch of time of repositioning myself, things like that. If you want, you can have a little section here that holds your rope. I just wrap it back up, toss it up under the seat there, or to the side of the seat. Little buoy. I'll have this tied off here. Little buoy just in case the line goes haywire. But I have never happened to me. Hopefully, it never happens. But just one thing, you definitely want to at least be safe tied off so you don't lose your whole anchor. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this pole up here, right? So it's not like a pole, but it's a piece of wood actually. It's a little 2x2, but it's a little 2x2 piece of wood, man. It gets all the action from above. When I say that, now granted, yes, it does take up one of my rod holder slots. But again, I'm out on a small pond. I'm not doing anything crazy. Got some basic baits tied on today, of course. But that thing, I love that little thing, man. Capture all the action for super cheap. I don't know how much a 2x2 costs at the moment, but if you got a GoPro, you already got that piece that attaches to it. That's kind of drilled it in, made it stay steady. So that goes on my boat, that goes on my kayak. And something I say, if you're a person that want to, catch the footage, so people don't say, hey man, there's no way you caught the 8-pounder, blah, this and other. You can have proof. Proof is right there, okay? But that's one thing I would definitely recommend to someone always have on the boat. You never know what happens out there, whether it's on the boat or on a kayak. But you never know what happens out there, and it'd be great to catch the footage of it so you can share with friends and family. Especially if you got a huge one that got away. You got the proof. Got one, baby. He picked it up. Let it go, huh? Now, one item here that not all kayaks have, but I would recommend people looking into it, especially if you're about to purchase a kayak. This right here, this seat, again, this is Field and Stream Shadowcaster, but this seat right here is fully adjustable. I can either drop it down to the deck or have it sitting up as it is right now. It gives you a lot more mobility, things like that. You're not necessarily down in the compartment area, or I say in compartment. You kind of feel in a compartment once you drop it down. I like my kayak seat sitting up a little higher. As far as mobility, it's great for me personally. Not worried about hitting your paddle on the sides as you're paddling. I just like it all around. Also, while you're fishing, sitting up a little higher, getting a little vantage point. Yes, you can stand on this kayak, but just in case you don't feel comfortable standing, definitely try to get one with the seat that is able to adjust. That's a must-have there. Oh, one thing I did forget to say about that whole anchor system thing, right? Well, anchor system, having an anchor period. I do have a trolley, an anchor trolley system. See this line here? I can maneuver where my anchor is at. I can maneuver it from either sitting back here at the stern compared to up at the bow. All right, so I can slide this line all the way down to the front and have the anchor sitting on the front of the kayak. Just in case that's the direction I wanted to stay. So that right there, yes, that is definitely a key point I forgot to mention when I was talking about the anchor section. The anchor itself, you can get it from Walmart for cheap. The anchor trolley system might cost a little bit, not crazy, but if you can afford it, cut some grass, whatever you got to do, it definitely helped me out a lot. All right, last but not least, again, it's just something that, like I said, I personally added to my kayak. Some people may already have it, some people may not have thought about it, but these cleats, the cleats that people use to tie on to the boat, things like that. I got one here for the front of my kayak. I got one right here. You see? Okay, cool. I got one right here where I tie off my anchor with the actual line itself. But if your kayak or boat, because I mean you gotta apply these things to a boat as well, or even especially John boat guys. But if your boat doesn't have cleats on it, when I say those things come in handy so much, like you see, I got a rope tied to it, especially if you're out and you need to tie your kayak down or something like that, and you don't have anything to tie to. Period. The cleats come in handy, come into play. And again, like I said, I don't think people realize that, especially when you're getting started into this, into kayak fishing, period. Place you're gonna. I just dropped my kayak off on the side of dirt. Okay, so just that alone, I can roll the kayak out there, have my rope, pull it back in just to make sure everything's secure. I can tie it off to a tree if I wanted to sit still. Like having cleats on your kayak, or like I said, or your John boat or regular boat. When I see those things come in handy. And again, I don't believe many kayaks even come with cleats already on them. A lot of them may have like handles or something like that, right? But again, there's nothing like having the cleat, like I said, at the front of the bow of the kayak, where you can tie it off, have it sitting there. You maybe have one in the front, one in the back. But it'll definitely save you, like I said, if you want to tie down at any point in time, or if you, like I said, dropping off on the side of who knows where. But the cleats definitely come into play, definitely beneficial. And I wouldn't go without. Like, they're on my John boat, and as you see, they're on my kayak. They help you out, especially if you're in places, like I said, that you may not have a dock or may not have a actual boat ramp to slide your kayak up on, whatever case may be. That's it, guys. I do appreciate you joining in. By all means, share it with a friend, share it with somebody who you think may need it, may need a couple tips, or hey man, I told you so kind of thing. It's all love, it's all fun. We're all out here to have fun. So again, I appreciate you guys joining in. Give this video a thumbs up. I do appreciate all the support. That's it for me, guys. Thank you guys again. You guys have a good one. I'm out. Peace.